Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone, wherever in the world you happen to be. As you hopefully know, my name is Carmen Mazzara, and I serve as Executive Director of the Coalition for American Public Diplomacy and Leadership, or CAPDL, of which we are so pleased and proud to have all of you as members. Welcome to another one of our great best practices webinars that we hope will help you build out your processes and continue to strengthen the work that you do in the wonderful Bridge USA J1 visa program. We're going to be talking today about the pre-screening process, particularly for the summer work travel program, because we know that many of you are getting ready for the next season and really trying to help make sure that all of your systems and processes really continue to deliver the great work and the wonderful students that we know make this program so special. So I'm joined by two tremendous panelists here today. I have some questions for them, and then we'll have a chance for you to ask what your questions are. So please be sure to type in the chat or send me a direct message if there's something in particular you absolutely want to make sure we talk about before we part ways in about 45 minutes. I also want to remind you that we do sessions throughout the whole year, and I celebrate those with you by email as well as our Friday newsletter. If you have no idea what I am talking about, please send me a message. Sometimes the Friday email gets caught in spam filters, but I want to make sure that you and your colleagues definitely see it and make sure that you have a chance to participate and engage in all of the different CAPDL activities. We also always have our videos afterwards on the CAPDL YouTube page, as well as in our running list of previous and upcoming events. And as another quick reminder, on September 30th, your alumni are invited to a particular session for them, looking at how they can connect their Bridge USA experience to applying for graduate schools. And we'll continue to do these sessions for alumni to help them connect this wonderful transformative experience that they've had with their future career trajectories and educational trajectories. So be sure to let them know about that. They need to join CAPDL first, but as you all know, that takes about 2 minutes, and then they can come to this event. We're really excited to have admissions officers from lots of different kinds of postgraduate schools, online MBA programs, studying social sciences, studying public health, to help them think about how they translate that tremendous experience into effective essays, effective applications going forward. But for today, let's keep that focus on the pre-screening process. And yes, there is no cost this year for alumni to join CAPDL. Thanks to a generous donation that we received, they are also able to participate in that opportunity to either contribute to the scholarship fund that we're building or not. So it can be free for them this year as well, much as it has been for many organizations who have opted or not been able to invest in the scholarship fund in 2025. All right, so let's jump into this fabulous session. We are joined by two wonderful speakers. First, of course, Rafael Espinoza, who is the CEO and co-founder of the Universal Student Exchange, or U.S.E, based in Argentina, Chile, and Peru. He, I think, is a serial entrepreneur, and he has built up U.S.E to right now send almost 3,500 participants from those countries on these tremendous programs each year. They work on summer work travel, they work on internships, they work on trainees. And all of this journey began for him in 1996 when he launched Uniglobe, which was working with a Canadian travel agency. And then he began to work on U.S. summer work travel and continue to grow these wonderful organizations. In 2000, he started an IT startup that was working in Argentina and Chile and Mexico and Peru. And from there, all of that grew into continuing to grow U.S.E. And in 2002, he then spun out into the offices in Chile and then Argentina in 2005. So Rafael has that continuous spirit of entrepreneurship and growth. And now U.S.E is a leading innovator in Latin America, connecting and recruiting potential clients for programs that really help to create these wonderful experiences. Laura Zusinaite, which I think I just butchered despite her telling me many times, is the director and co-founder of Jaunimo keliones. And again, she will correct me for my terrible Lithuanian when she gets her chance. But she is a travel professional and co-founder of this travel agency that has been working for over 14 years. But all of that passion for global travel began with her own summer work travel experience nearly 20 years ago when she was just 2 years old, I'm sure. And then she also had the chance to go to Canada on a similar work travel holiday, but clearly her heart was in the US because this is now such a key part of her life and business. Um, She's helped to grow a number of other different travel focused agencies because, as she describes it, of her dedication to guiding young people through enriching travel opportunities that combine work, travel, cultural immersion, and personal growth. And that really is the heart of the Bridge USA program, that wonderful experience of exchange and growth and professional development for Americans as well as for our participants. But all of this begins with that key pre-screening process that many of you do. And so as we jump in, Laura, I'm going to start with you. Can you share some of your best practices in pre-screening participants, particularly if staff time is a limited commodity?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Carmen, for such a nice introduction for me and for such a nice compliment. Yeah, so Lithuania is not a very big market, but the big market means that there are just a few person in the office, and we still have challenges to get all the students to prepare them for the program, to pre-screen them so that everybody would be happy. Sponsors, host employers, us, and all that stuff. So what we really know now, what is the best practice, the key is communication. We have to communicate to all participants all the time. And well, we saw that we tried at first to talk to all of them, like inviting them to the office, telling about the program, trying to find out about themselves, what are their goals, what do we want to do, and all that stuff. But in the end, it really, we saw that it's quite frustrating because, like, during the day, you have to tell all the things, like, I don't know, 10 times exactly things. So it was very complicated. And what we do now, because we still want to do this communication thing, like telling all the process about the program, to tell what they can expect, to tell them what is waiting for them in the program. So what we're doing right now, we do a lot of seminars, like a lot of seminars. So we have when we open the program, we have an application form for them, which is quite generous with questions. It's a lot, but that's how we can. That's how we know if those students are eligible to participate in the program. After that, if we see that they are eligible, we email them and invite them to the seminar. So during week, we hold about 2 to 3 online webinars. We always do them online. We try to do it in different times so that everybody, just to make sure that everyone can participate in it. And we talk a lot about the program during those seminars. So we tell them what to expect, how much does it cost, what is needed, and most importantly, we talk a lot about jobs, because we realized that some, especially young people, and those who are going for the first time to the USA, they have no idea what they want. Or if they do know what they want, they have a very, very different perspective, very different understanding on what is waiting for them. So we talk about, we implemented this like a tool telling about how to choose a job, because a list is quite long, and when they usually choose a jobs themselves, we don't point them choose that or choose another one. So they do that themselves, and then we talk when they choose. But the first thing to choose a job is quite difficult. So what we noticed, that there are actually 3 kind of students. There are students who are outdoorsy and they want to go to national parks and to places where in the middle of nowhere. Then there are people who wants to be in the middle from resort jobs, but also not that like how to say, very active life or something like that. So I think that's amusement parks, because you have a big community and you still have some fun, and amusement parks is just more like to be more safe and all that stuff. And then we have this third section, let's say, about the jobs, which is resort jobs, like mostly coastline jobs. And this is really like for people who want a vibrant life, who wants a nightlife or something like that, and they are not afraid to go to work for to work a few jobs, multiple jobs, and who is okay living in not a very nice housing, because it's usually what's with the coastline housing. So I'm sorry, I think my video just broke. I don't know if you can see me now. Okay, great, thank you. So we usually break in three pieces these jobs, and we suggest them to choose from that. And when they do, we again communicate with them about what they can expect. So we do a lot talking, a lot consulting them, just to make sure that they know where are they going. And why do we do that? Because first of all, as I told before, it's a big issue of how to realize what do I want from my summer. And I think actually, like last year in international in a conference in Washington, I talked to some host employees, and I told them about our this thing what we do, and they said that it's a very good thing, because they want to know that students know for sure where they are going. Just if they are going to a national park, they want to make sure that they know that they will be in the middle of nowhere, and that there goes only outdoorsy people, not like party people. So just to make sure. So I think it's quite a success. And as I see in our office that we do have a little question, how do they choose to go with us? And it's like 80% that somebody recommended us. So I think that we are doing a good job communicating a lot with the students. It takes time, and again, Lithuania is not a very good and not a very big market, so I think we handle it. But like last season, we were out of jobs for the first time, not from the students, what used to be, but from jobs. So I think it's going well. So yeah, we do that. We don't really screen them for English, because Lithuanians are very good in English. We usually let them decide themselves what level they are, and we always say that if you are a little bit worried or a little bit insecure about your English level, just come down to the office. We will talk in English, and we will let you know what the English level you are. And usually they are all good, so it's not a very big deal. Yeah. So, and also what we do, we low their expectations, because usually they, if they go from recommendation for if they are, I don't know, sisters, brothers, cousins, or friends have been to the United States before and work and travel, and they want to come back to, they also want to go on a program, and they are like, okay, so my sister brought home so much money. What can I expect? So I always tell that it's not about the money. And we always communicate that this program is only experience. And if you are lucky enough to earn some money that you can bring home, that's great. But we always load their expectations to just to be sure that they will travel, and they most probably will go with zero money home, but with a huge baggage of experience of traveling and all that stuff. Yeah, so I think that's a brief description what we do in Jaunimo keliones.
Thank you. And I have shared this before, but to your point about explaining all the different jobs, a different capital member has a nice glossary that translates lots of terms too. So I put that in the chat for folks who would want to steal that best practice
Yeah.
from a colleague. Rafael, how about you? You have many countries to cover. What are your best practices, especially when staff time is limited?
I do believe that all agencies take orientations and training and recruitment seriously. We have been able to do, I think, a really good match between go back to basics and technology. I do believe that during and after the pandemic, companies and participants have get used to do everything online. So personally, we believe that online has an amazing space to do everything online, but we cannot lose that personal touch. And when I mean personal touch, I mean meeting and knowing the participants. What we've seen, at least in the office in Latin America, is that they don't come much to the office. In the past, we used to have every single participant come into one of our offices or representatives in one city. That stopped during the pandemic. So we said a few years ago, okay, we need to go back to basics and we need to gain back that personal touch. I personally do not believe that when you want to train someone, you can expect to train that person through Zoom, Google Meet, or Teams. That person will be with a WhatsApp, with Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, and believing that they can do both things at the same time. So right now, we ask them to come to orientations on the conference room. And if they don't come, they cannot continue with the process. And also, we complement that with technology, because I do believe that technology allows us to standardize communication and processes. And when we don't standardize things between cities and countries, then it becomes a problem, because a participant from Argentina or Chile might have different information from Peru. So for me, what technologies have given us is the possibility of having the same information cross-border and not depending on some person mood to be able to share the complete or non-complete information to an applicant going into this important program. And let me share with you a brief presentation. So we have this one-on-one conversation with the participants when we have that English evaluation, but it's not just an English evaluation, it's making sure that they understand key components of the program and also what is next to come for them. One important next step for all of them will be this face-to-face orientation that we do it in a conference room, usually groups of 300 or 400 at the same time. But that's an interactive orientation. So we ask questions, we give a lot of information, not just about the great things about the program and the paperwork that they need to do, but it's also a lot to prepare them what they need to know and what they will face in the upcoming months before they depart and once they are in the US. And we're extremely clear with that. So if something happens when they are in the US, they are aware, and rather than complain about something, they can ask for help. And that's a total different scenario. When someone says, okay, I don't know, they're not having 40 hours, they're having 32 hours, and they were counting that they were having 32 hours, or there's lack of snow, or the ski resort is closed because there's too much snow or not enough snow, and they're having even less than 32 hours 1 week. So they need to know that that can happen, and rather than demanding more hours of work, looking for alternatives. And we are extremely honest, and when that face-to-face orientation ends, this is really the first steps of the program. Even though they have made one first payment, we offer a full refund for participants for that first payment. The idea for us is that only participants that are willing to face those challenges, at least mentally, they are willing to continue with the process. But that's not enough. So we have an e-learning journey, and I think that is crucial. I'm convinced that when you want to give a message to someone, especially if it's the first time that they will be hearing that message, and if that message is a little bit more than complex, is many steps, we need to repeat that over and over again. And let's face it, participants, most likely they will not be reading the agreement that we ask them to sign, and not even their parents. So we need to be sure that what they've signed, they understand it. And they understand it in that first orientation that we provide them face-to-face on a conference room. But we also take them in an e-learning journey that they need to understand what they've signed, what we show on the orientation, and now on an e-learning journey. In that e-learning journey, if they do not get 90% or more because we quiz them, they're not able to continue the program. It's not that they can take it again. They do not have a second chance. The idea for us is that, are they committed to the program or not? Some people, because they are paid for the program, they believe that we will be the babysitters. And this is not a program for them. So we need to try to identify that. When I like numbers. So when I made a survey with employers, asking them, okay, how many of our participants make a really good job in knowing you better, knowing the area better, knowing the airport, knowing everything. And 90% of the participants were doing a great job, but 10% of them were not doing a good job. So I said, okay, we need to identify that 10%. And if they're not willing to do that extra step, I prefer them not to be in the program. It's been extremely successful. So we partner with a company called J1Lab.ai, that they understand what is the J1 program. They've been former J1 participants. So that company has allowed us to do training much faster because they know what we are talking about. When I approach a company in Chile, in Argentina, in different countries, and say, okay, we want to do that, it was a long process because they clearly didn't understand what was the program about, and the J1 visa as well. So we need this technology to better train not just the participants, but also the employers that complements that traditional resource method. And the advantage of technology is that it's scalable, personalized. It builds content through practice, and you will see a little bit what I'm talking about, and standardize the screening. So we built an LMS. We partner with a company in Mexico to build an LMS. And with the new technology, we're able to do a lot of things with
Rafael,
J1.
can you explain what an LMS, can you translate an LMS or use the acronym?
Sorry. LMS is Learning Management System. Most of you have done Coursera, a course in Coursera or edX or so many platforms that you can do an online course. That's an LMS. But we needed an LMS that can adapt to the J1 program. So we created one LMS with this company in Mexico that adapt with this J1 program through this company, J1 Lab. And with the new technology, we're able to create a lot of content. And also, if we want to change something in the past, I remember our first LMS, we needed to go to a recording studio, record. And when we wanted to make a change 1 year after we created the course, it was thousands of dollars and many days to be able to make the changes. Nowadays, with the new technologies, in a matter of minutes, you can make many changes. And actually the avatar that is exactly like a person will be speaking the new content really fast. And we also created micro-learning models because nowadays a lot of participants do not want to sit in a classroom for 2 hours to learn something. So we are able to create these micro models. And it's also accessible anytime. Now, actually, we've seen that most of the participants take these courses between 9 p.m. at midnight. So it's important for them, the availability. And we are able to track and understand what they are doing. This is a brief video of the LMS.
In our advanced LMS, we deliver and track progress seamlessly. giving your participants 24/7 access to training. Our state-of-the-art authoring tools enable us to create dynamic, engaging learning experiences, whether through videos, labeled graphics, sorting activities, quizzes.
Rafael, you are still on mute, sir.
That's our LMS, and that is a course that lasts like 1.5 hours between different micro models. But in order to create that content, you need to find the right partner that is able to understand what you need. You need to be clear on your objective, what you're trying to achieve, and align the ideas with the external team, and know that you have a solution that aligns with your process. And that's exactly what we did when we've been in this journey for already 2 years and have proven to be extremely successful. And why extremely successful? Actually, I was worried because some people in my office were saying, okay, we are asking too much from the participants. They will not like it. And since I like numbers, we did 2 different surveys that is just the online survey, and then we interview 400 participants personally, a person sitting with them and explore if they believe that this is value added for them or not. And in 99% of the cases, they said that it was extremely valuable for them. And we also ask employers, okay, what we are doing, are you feeling a difference between our participants and other companies' participants? And in all the cases, they said, yes, we are feeling the difference, and we believe that your participants are better trained. They understand better what the program is about. They have a better expectations about our company, meaning the employer that they will be applying to. And I did that survey with 40 participants that came to our job fairs in June and July. So it's a pretty good and accurate information.
Thank you. That's wonderful. And just to confirm, we have one question in the chat. The company that you were partnering with, that's J1Labs.ai. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
So I'm curious, there's obviously been a lot of changes in the last 6 to 8 months in these programs. How are you changing your processes, adapting? Laura, how early are you starting all of these processes and systems? How are you changing to look forward to the next season?
Yeah, so we are actually starting quite early, and for next season, we are starting in a few weeks. I saw today in September 3rd, so it's coming very, very soon. Why we do that? Mostly because of the competition. We are 4 agencies here in Lithuania. The market is not that big, so others start quite early. So we do, but not only because of that. I see that usually there are coming more and more employers who like to do interviews quite early. So that gives us some time to prepare, to get students to prepare documents and just to wait for interviews. So yeah, we start quite early, and this year in particular early. I don't remember that early start date, but we are looking forward to that. Yeah.
Rafael, how about you?
We have, again, a pre-pandemic and after-pandemic scenario. Before the pandemic, we used to recruit participants. We're winter season, so they depart in December. And we used to start recruiting participants mainly started in early April or late March until September, October. After the pandemic, that's changed, and we've been able to recruit participants much earlier. So we start recruitment in November, so 13 months before they depart. And we could end the recruitment by January or early February, but we don't, because we put a lot of additional requirements for them to apply. And also we target specific universities and specific markets in order to have what we consider the pool of participants that will better represent us. So we usually end the recruitment by March in some countries, and in Chile that has been a little bit slower. We continue doing until June or July. And we do that because there are challenges with the visa processing, as we all know. As an example, this year in Chile, they have cut the visa appointment numbers by 80%, 80. So if we don't have the information at the right time, at the right moment, then some of our participants will not be able to make it for those visa appointments. We're working hard with a senator in Chile and with Alliance in the U.S. and other organizations, and we hope that it will be opening a few more appointments. But for sure, at least 40% of the Chileans will not be able to travel. In Argentina, they reduced that number by 7%. I think that Argentina will be okay, but the coming years will be challenging. So time frame of recruitment will be important for sure.
Thank you. All right, friends, now is your chance to ask questions of our wonderful panelists. You can raise your hand or put something in the chat. I did have one person send me a question in advance, so we'll start with that. But please do, this is your wonderful chance to pick two experts' brains, so use them while we have them. The first question that I have is how you're preparing for or how you have been doing the social media screening and vetting process and how that might have changed your pre-screening processes. Laura, have you done any adaptations to get ready for that?
For social, no, actually we haven't started that because when this was implemented, all our students have already had visas. But I think the first news when came the first news about the social media screening, we just informed all our students that they should think about it to check their social media, but it wasn't actually a problem at all. So yeah, we are actually right now deciding on how to implement this to the next season, because this will be the biggest. Yeah.
Rafael, how about you? Have you adapted for the new processes?
Not really, because that caught us when we were already late in the visa processing time frame. We were not able to adapt. We'll see what happened this year and how can we better adapt for next year. What I'm surprised is that from the conversations that we've had with a U.S. consulate in Argentina and in Chile, it seems that it's not an automated process. It seems that it's a lot of a manual process, and that means huge delays if they do not automate that. So that's my perception. I might be wrong. I hope to be wrong, and it's automated, but it looks like it's not automated.
And if useful, I'm also going to put in the chat, we had a community conversation around getting ready for the social media vetting or how folks are adapting to it. And I just put in the chat the one page of key takeaways. It is also my understanding that it is going to be individual consular officers looking back at different social media channels, all the social media channels. And I know many of you have been collecting data on students' handles for a number of years, but aside from that, have you changed the data that you collect, Rafael, through all of these different key pieces? And I know you love numbers, so why did you change what you collect?
Yes, we've changed by trying to add more information that we understand the mindset of the participants. The contact information, that's the same, so there's not much additional information that we can collect. We've also created more surveys to try to understand better what do participants value of the services that we provide, what changes they expect us to do. So we tried to we develop something, we launch it to the market, we do surveys, we do focus groups, and then we redo it if we need to redo something. And we're implementing some new really cool tools for 2026 that I'm sure that will make us understand even much, much better our participants and how can we better approach. I do believe that the industry will be facing also some challenges with next year between visa appointments, integrity fee, social media, that understanding our market and our customers will be crucial in order not to lose not just market share, but also not to lose volume. That at the end, that's revenue. So next year is going to be really tough for all of us.
What kinds of things do you ask to assess their values?
More than values is what they value. So what they like about us, the company, and the process. So during this model 1 and 2, we ask them a lot of questions. And through those questions that we ask, we're able to better understand what they like and what they don't like. That's the idea. And we are complementing that with new tools for the next season.
And Laura, you talked about the 3 kinds of students. Are there key questions that you ask to understand which bucket, if any, a student falls into?
Yes, usually we do ask some questions just to make sure, but they usually know themselves what they want. It's just, I think that it's very, very important to be 100% honest to tell them what they can expect. So yeah, usually if someone chooses, like, I don't know, let's say Yellowstone National Park, I do ask them, do you like hiking? Are you okay to sit by the fire in the evening, not going to a nightclub or something like that? Are you okay with not having internet? Oh, this is the main question, actually. We do ask a lot about, are you okay not to be in an area of Wi-Fi or something like that? So yes, we do. And we also, I usually am very, I'm not worried about amusement parks, because it's everything in there, and they always like it. But I'm very usually concerned about coastline jobs, like in Maryland or New Jersey, Wildwood, or something like that, because usually the housing is not very nice, and it's challenging to get a new job, a second job, but they want to work more. So I do talk to them that, you will have to go to look for another job if you want to go traveling. You will pay a lot for the housing, which will most probably will not be very beautiful, what you have in your mind to live on the beach or something like that. So yeah, just being honest all the time, I think that's the key to success.
And as you all think about the role of the host, the role of the sponsor, your role as a recruiting agent, can you talk about what you think of as the distinct pieces as we pass participants along that pipeline? And then what are the complementary roles, and how everyone might be able to, do you have advice on how everyone might be able to work better together, Rafael?
That's a really good, interesting question. I think that each role is crucial and really important. Just a second, please. I'll try to ask people to stop working, because I don't know if you hear the noise or not. Just a second, please.
Laura, why don't you tap in while Rafael handles that?
Sure. I think that I don't know. Actually, we all just need to put more communication to all the students to talk. Actually, every time I'm not sure about something, I always try to talk to sponsors to find out about the job or something like that. So it's just yeah, Could you remind me a question? I think I just lost it. What was the key you wanted to know?
Sure. How can all of the parts of the pipeline work better
Yeah.
together or with their distinct roles, but also they have to be complementary to each other?
Yeah, just I don't know. I said a million times, just communicating all the time. I guess I mean I see that. I do I actually do a lot of work during summer as well, although students have to you know to contact their sponsors if anything happens, but you know they feel safer emailing me, and I'm always happy to email them back and just so I think that just yeah, talking to each other is very, very important.
And is there some piece of
Mhm.
information that you wish you knew from others in different parts of the pipeline?
No, I think I always get what I need. That's I am really very lucky to have a very good partners because I always get what I if I have a question, always I can always expect to be answered. So no, I'm really satisfied with that. Yeah.
Rafael, how about you?
Uh, I believe that everyone has a specific and really important role in the process. One of the things that we would like, since we work with many different sponsors, is to try to standardize some things. That will allow us, especially in the upcoming future, that will be challenging to try. Everyone thinks that they have, every single sponsor thinks that they have the best process ever. And some of them have good things, other things have better things. So it's a combination of different standards. But it will be a good help for everyone to try to have sponsors talk together and standardize some of the things that they ask, they don't ask, they require, they don't require, because that is one of the main problems I believe that agencies have when trying to do processes with multiple sponsors. But I believe that the collaboration that we have with the sponsors we work with, it's a good one. It's in most cases a good partnership that we tend to exchange a lot of information and we work really well together. But that part of standardizing some of the process will be crucial, especially because in the near future, I strongly believe that in the next 2 or 3 years, visa appointments will be a challenge.
If
I
I
wish,
may, I just have
yeah.
one thing on my mind about that. I just thought that from my experience from last year in the conference, that it was very, very good for us to meet some host employers, me as an agent and host employers, which we really have ability to meet. Sometimes we come to Lithuania for a roadshow, but not all of them. So I think that to get a better job for us, it is very, very good for us to communicate with host employers. It's very challenging. There are many of employers, I do agree with that, but sometimes uh, it would be very, very good to have a direct contact to the host employer for me as an agent. So I could, have all the answers to my students. And I think that would be very good. Yeah.
That is a wonderful note for us to end on because one strength I think of CAPDL is that we have all the parts of the community together to hopefully, as we go forward, have more dialogue and more understanding and clearer sense of everyone's needs and how we can really create those efficiencies, create those quality experiences for students. So you didn't intend that to be a capital commercial, Laura, but I'm going to take it as such and I'm going to use it that way. So thank you so much to both of our speakers. Thank you to all of our audience. This recording will be available on the CAPDL YouTube page within probably 1 hour. And then the summary of some wonderful takeaways, including how we use information, how we set expectations, how we do those communication pieces, will be available hopefully by the end of today, if not tomorrow, and definitely in your Friday message for the membership. I look forward to seeing all of you at future Capital webinars, including your alumni on September 30th. As always, we invite your stories, your ideas, your suggestions, your complaints. I will take all of it as we hope to move our space forward. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to our audience. And I will see you all at a future Capital event. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.